What's up, everybody? It's RJ and Shane. We are coming to you with a part one of the semi-truck. We had an awesome chance to fly out to Iowa, and Shane and I went out together, got to pick up the truck and get it all the way back to Florida. So we're going to tell you a little bit about the story about what we got getting it back here and leading up to the point that it is right now. And we're going to go through that a little bit. Shane, talk some about that trip, man. That was a fun, quick trip.
Sometimes I just can't believe what kind of things you get me into, but yeah, it was definitely a little out of control situation as far as getting up early as heck in the morning and getting on a plane and getting up there and get that thing and getting right back, and literally non-stop situation.
Well, we call it our cold beer conversations. We get to sit out here and tell you guys this story because it's a pretty neat story, and we had a surprise along the way. But we ended up leaving on Friday, last Friday. We ended up leaving our houses at about 2:30 in the morning. We had a good friend of mine give us a ride down to the airport, which trying to get them out of the bed that early in the morning was tough. But we ended up getting down to the airport probably about 4:30 in the morning in Tampa, jumped on a flight, had a layover in Atlanta, got through that transition pretty smooth, and got out to Des Moines, Iowa. And the previous owner of the truck, which is actually Rev Motorsports, so they are the Gas Off-Road GNCC team. That's who previously owned the truck. He picked us up and took us out to the truck about an hour away from the Des Moines airport.
Talk about when you walked out the door at the airport, though.
Oh, man, the temperature changed.
I had flip-flops on and shorts, and I walked in and hit like I walked into an ice cube.
We're the only two idiots from Florida showing up with shorts and a T-shirt on, and we walk out the airport door, and it's, what was it? They said it was 30-something degrees that night.
Yeah, but I think it was 50 when we got there, and then, but it, as a Floridian now, it felt like it was about 15 degrees outside.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a shock there getting the temperature change, but we get in the truck with the previous owner of the truck. Super great guy, great people to deal with, and it made it very convenient for us to be able to have a ride from the airport out to where the semi was. That way we didn't have to worry about a rental car or anything. And we get out to the truck, and he kind of gives us a walk around and, a little bit of a what's what, this is this, but with all your experience, I mean, it was a breeze to you.
Yeah, I mean, as far all those trailers, once you deal with them for a long time, they're all pretty much, everything has, they have their differences, but as far as like the setup and the where the generator and how everything works in those trailers is pretty much all the same. So
yeah, so we talked about maybe going over the lift gate and all that stuff, and you were pretty much like,
no,
like,
I'll do that when we get home. It's too cold out here.
Done it a million times, no big deal. So we end up getting in the truck. It was 1 o'clock Eastern time on Friday afternoon. So we left the house, flew up, got a little bit of sleep on the plane, got in the truck about 1 o'clock Eastern time, and we start cruising back. We're leaving just outside of Des Moines, Iowa, the Oskaloosa, Iowa area.
Which is beautiful, by the way.
Oh, it was unreal. I mean, the combines, the fields, the farmers out there. I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful piece of the country. And we actually texted Austin Kent, who is from Iowa. He was on episode number 2 on the podcast, and we were making a joke with him about, where's Austin, looking for him out there in the cornfields, and he texted us back. He's like, man, that's God's country out there. And I mean, it is. It's a beautiful piece of land and a beautiful area out there. And the truck ran great. We got on the road about 1 o'clock Friday afternoon Eastern time and started driving on back. And
well, we had to figure out how to shift it first.
Yeah,
because I've only literally ran like 18 speeds, 15 speed, 13, and that thing was like a weird 10 speed that I've never dealt with and you've never dealt with.
Yeah.
So it was a little struggle getting out of town.
Yeah, it's like an auto Super 10. It's a little bit different to drive the truck, but I mean, it ran great, and we started coming on back, and we're hitting the road. We're kind of taking turns driving and sleeping, and just since both of us have our Class A CDL, it made it really convenient to have you with me, and then you kind of started off the leg, and then once we got fuel, I started driving from there, and randomly in the passenger seat you make a phone call. Talk about that one.
Yeah, so what was it that night? It was, the sun was already down, and I have a lot of history in Collinsville. Like we used to all stay there in Collinsville at the Holiday Inn, and I just happened to call Dino, which Dino works for Ken Roxon, and I've known Dino since he was a kid from home. But I was like, man, you ain't gonna believe where the heck I'm at right now. And he's like, where? And I was like, me and RJ are in Collinsville, Illinois, And he's like, no way. And he's like, I'm just like an hour and a half ahead of you. And I'm like, well, what the hell are you doing out here? And he's like, oh, I'm driving AC's bus from Colorado back to South Carolina or whatever. And I was like, no way. So like my great friend from California is traveling across the country, and me and you were traveling from Iowa to Florida, and this fool's like right in front of us. And I was like, in this huge country, how the heck's that happen, you know?
Yeah, so he's driving Cincerillo's bus from Denver back to South Carolina, and I think he had to stop in Atlanta or something, and we had to go right through Atlanta.
Yeah.
So he ends up pulling into a rest area right there at, like, what was it, the Tennessee Welcome Center?
Yeah, Tennessee.
And then we both pull in and get fuel. So here we are in this race hauler, 18-wheeler semi. He's in Adam Cincerillo's motorhome, and we just end up basically running into each other at the Tennessee line.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a coincidence of that.
I told Dino, I said, you better wait for me.
Yeah.
Because I said, this is probably the last time you're ever going to be able to drive with a little Shane dog over here. Because me and Dino used to drive together pretty much the whole time. When Dino got into the industry, I took him around like a little puppy on my coattail for a lot of years, and he's still out there doing it. And so I'm like, well, if you want to drive with a legend, you better wait up,
Well, he did. He ended up waiting up on us, and we got some fuel, and we ended up going from when we entered the Tennessee line from there all the way to Atlanta together with the truck was wrapped gas, which you guys will be able to see that as we insert pictures here on the video. And if you look at our Instagram page also, I put a picture of me, you, and Dino in the cab of the truck when we stopped at one of the rest areas. But that was a super funny, it was really just random, like just such a random scenario. But we ended up driving most of the night with him. It actually started to see the sunrise with him right there coming through Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he peeled off to do his thing, and then we made it the rest of the way to Florida and arrived to Florida Saturday at, I think it was about 11 a.m. when we rolled into Dade City.
Yeah, so we were at it, what was it, 21 hours?
It was about 21 hours of road
driving.
But
it's from start to finish, it was in the 30s.
Yeah, with leaving our houses, getting to the airport, flying time, and then driving back. But super convenient to be able to have two drivers there to alternate driving and sleeping. And then we got it back to Dade City, and we started messing with the truck when we got back to the shop, and realized that the wrap was actually like a base wrap, and all the logos that was on the truck is just stickers. So we actually started pulling some of the stickers off and talked to our wrap company, and that kind of made it pretty convenient. And we took the truck over to the wrap company, which you would be proud of me.
Oh, you already did it on your own?
Yeah, we dropped it off on Thursday to get the wrap started, and you'd be very proud of me if you would see where they asked me to put that thing, man. They wanted me to back that thing down an alley between two buildings that were pretty tight space to get together, and I was like, man, there's no way I'm gonna fit this thing in here, and I got her in there.
Take your time.
Backed her in. It took me 2 attempts, but I got her in there, and
well, you're never gonna be able to do it unless you do it.
That's right. And
Figure it out.
She's there. She's getting the start wrap right now. So we just wanted to tell you, we got some emails and people on Instagram that asked us about the truck, and now you actually get to see what it looked like currently when we picked it up, and then even bringing it back, taking some of the stickers off in Dade City, and then currently it's dropped off at the wrap place right now. So this will be just a part 1 video. Part 2 is going to be when we actually pick the truck up from the wrap company, and then we're going to take it to our first race, and we're going to try and document that story, and hope you guys can travel along with us and get to watch part 2 video. But just a nice little short introduction there where you get to see what the truck currently looks like. And
I'm still tired from that trip.
Next time you see it, it's going to be completely different.
I'm still tired, man.
Yeah, that was
a long trip.
That was a long run, but we want to thank everybody for checking out this little part 1 video, and keep checking our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to it, like it, share it with your friends, and tell everybody about the YouTube channel. Is just a nice little short cold beer conversation, and we'll keep doing more of them for you. So we thank you everybody for listening and watching, and keep tuning in.
Cheers.